This is the Crown Berkey water purifying system. The system is composed of two stainless steel chambers. The upper chamber can receive up to 8 filtering elements capable of filtering 26 gallons of water an hour, while the lower chamber acts as the water reservoir and can store up to 6 gallons of water. This unit is shown with the optional water view spigot that displays the current water level in the lower reservoir. The system is simple and easy to use and maintain. So let's look at the different parts of the system, learn how to clean the filters, assemble the unit, and filter some water. Laid out here are the different parts of the system so they can be easily seen. Starting at the top of the unit, we have the lid. This acts as a dust cover on top of the upper chamber. Next is the upper chamber itself. This chamber is actually where the water is filtered. These holes here receive the filtering elements. And unfiltered water is poured into the top of this upper chamber, and it begins to run through these filters. These are the black Berkey filtering elements. These threaded mounts hang down through the holes in the bottom of the upper chamber, and as water soaks into and saturates each of these elements, it starts to drip down into the lower chamber. This is the lower chamber where up to 6 gallons can be collected and stored for later use. It has a rubber gasket on the bottom that provides a nice, soft, non-skid surface for the unit to rest on. And finally, the spigot that dispenses the filtered water. It's inserted in this hole here. The spigot shown here is a special option called the water view spigot that displays the water level in the lower chamber. Now we've looked at the different parts of the unit, let's talk about cleaning the filters.
Okay, so this is one of the filters that you took out of the Berkey, and this is cleaning it. What goes into cleaning it?
Well, first I make sure I'm set to cold water, not hot, and I take a Scotch-Brite pad that I've used for nothing else to scrub the filter. And I'm done when there's no more film. Sometimes there might be discoloration in the water as you scrape it, and when that's all gone, you're done. You can see it looks great.
Now the filters are all clean, so we're ready to reassemble the Berkey. Putting the unit together is easy. Just reinstall the filter elements into the holes of the upper chamber and place the upper chamber back on top of the lower chamber. First, be sure the rubber sealing washer for each element is on the threaded mount of the element. Insert the threaded mount through one of the holes in the lower chamber. Then thread the wing nut onto the mount. Tighten the nut so the washer on the other side is securely seated between the element and the bottom of the chamber. Now repeat this step for each of the other filters. Now we'll replace the water view spigot into the hole near the bottom of the lower chamber. Simply insert the spigot through the hole and be sure you've placed a washer on each side of the chamber wall. Then thread the nut onto the spigot. Finally, place the upper filtering chamber on top of the lower reservoir chamber, and the unit is ready to filter water. Now we're going to pour some unfiltered water into the upper chamber, then get some filtered water out of the bottom chamber. It's as simple as taking the lid off the top and pouring in the water. When adding water, be sure not to add more than can fit in the bottom chamber. If you don't have the optional water view spigot, you may need to lift the upper chamber and look to see how much water is in the lower reservoir. As soon as the filtering elements saturate with water, they'll begin to drip the filtered water down into the lower chamber, and the newly filtered water is easily accessible through the spigot. The Crown Berkey is the largest water purification system Berkey makes, and when all 8 filtering elements are installed, it is capable of filtering up to 26 gallons of water an hour. This is the Crown Berkey water purifying system. The system is composed of 2 stainless steel chambers. The upper chamber can receive up to 8 filtering elements capable of filtering 26 gallons of water an hour, while the lower chamber access the water reservoir and can store up to 6 gallons of water. This unit is shown with the optional water view spigot that displays the current water level in the lower reservoir. The system is simple and